Hello, good day. My name is Connor O'Malley. I describe myself as a Scot with an Irish name, an English accent, who's now an Australian. Married to Paula, and we have two grown-up children, one of whom we're very proud to say is about to get married. So that's a little bit about myself personally. Professionally, I work as an executive coach, and I'm very proud to say that I am credentialed as a PCC by the International Coaching Federation, but more about that later. It's an absolute pleasure to join you today at the invite of Linda Jordan. So thank you very much, Linda, of the Life Coaching Academy. And the purpose today is to take maybe 15 or maximum 20 minutes of your time to share with you about the ICF Australasia and the membership benefits and why that may well serve you to at least consider being a member of the ICF. So you'll forgive me now, I'm just going to maybe look down and get up a presentation that I can share with you. Okay, here we are. So welcome to ICF Australia coach training presentation in June 2022 for yourselves at the Life Coaching Academy. The first thing to say is that we're very, very proud to say that at the Global 2021 Chapter Excellence Awards, Davia McMillan, who is the president of ICF Australasia, collected on behalf of this chapter an Excellence Award from the ICF. 140 chapters entered the award, and Australasia was one of the lucky members to be awarded an Excellence Award, which shows you, I hope, that we take this very, very seriously and are very proud to represent ICF Australasia. So what is the ICF? At a headline level, it is a membership organization, 40,000 plus ICF credential holders and 50,000 members worldwide in 143 countries. In Australasia, we've now got just under 2,200 members, of whom 845 are credentialed. So it's a fraternity, if you like, and it's in essence a membership organization, which is one of the 6 core ecosystems that I'd like to share with you. So the other 5 are that it is a global body that awards credentials and standards and oversees those standards for coaches by awarding the credentials of an ACC, a PCC, and an MCC. More of that later. It's also around coach education. So it oversees the accreditation of coach training schools, exactly as the Life Coaching Academy has. And I know Linda's very, very proud to hold that accreditation, which shows the height of the standard of coach training that you guys are getting. And the other 3 areas are, there is a foundation for pro bono coaching. There is an area which is emerging, which is around coaching in organizations. As more organizations have coaches within, the ICF is stepping into that space to help raise the standards of coaching internally in organizations. And then the 6th area, the 6th ecosystem, is thought leadership. And there's no doubt that the ICF has wonderful thought leadership in this space and provides articles and webinars to keep that thought leadership going for us all to benefit from as members. So in Australasia, there are branches in Australia and then also in New Zealand. So that's the shape of the Australasia branch. And on the Southern States leadership team, of which I'm a part of, the core 4 areas that we focus on are coaching excellence, member experience, and external stakeholder engagement, as well as special projects. And those are the 4 areas that all of the branches within the chapter of Australasia focus on. And I'm here today in the domain of external stakeholder engagement to share with you about the ICF, and I hope give you some opportunity to consider being a member of the ICF. So we have a number of events. Virtual Coaching Cafe in February, and there was another one in Adelaide only a couple of weeks ago. There's discounted event registration, which we again had the amazing Michael Bungay-Stania last week in Melbourne, and also the prior week in Canberra. There's access to discounted events in Australasia and internationally. And there's leadership opportunities for those of you who want to step into that space of leadership with regards to leading in the professional domain of coaching. And that's something that I've just stepped into, very proud to say, on the Southern States leadership team only this year. So what I'd like to share with you are 5 areas that we hope you might want to consider with regards to, why would I become a member of the International Coaching Federation, specifically within Australasia? Well, business development. So for those of you who are thinking about creating or starting, if you haven't already, your own coaching practice, you get the opportunity to use the ICF logo and membership certificate, which shows, I feel, and we feel shows a credibility that you are part of a global organization. There's the ICF Partners Program, which enables you to actually access the partners within the ICF and through the stakeholder engagement. I'm talking to a particular organization in the HR world where we may well start to partner and have a closer association with. So any events that we put on in that space, there's the opportunity to benefit from that partnership. As a credentialed coach finder directory, you can actually list yourself down on the coach directory and potentially be found, and business might be found for you in that way. And there's a member toolkit, which gives you not only the logos, but also some insights with regards to, setting up your own business and business development within a coaching world. Learning and development, discounted credentialing application. So by being a member, you get a reduced fee to become a credentialed coach. Communities of practice, coach cafes being an example of that, for where a number of people get together and actually share insights and learn from one another. Continuing coach education. So, for example, the Michael Bungay Stanier event only last week was, I was personally there and learned a huge amount, both from Michael himself and also from the coaches when we split into little groups of 3 and shared insights and shared challenges. Was amazing. And peer coaching, there's the opportunity to actually, in a pro bono way, present yourself as an offer to coach somebody else and also have somebody coach you. So at any stage of your coaching journey, that's a very powerful thing to do. Connections, so local engagement. So I'm here in Melbourne, in the Southern States branch, but it's the same around the country. There is the opportunity to engage locally. As I've already mentioned, discounted event registration, and we're here to support you. So make no mistake that, if there's any areas of concern, we're volunteers, but in this context, staff support. You can reach out to us and we're here to support you. And I mentioned leadership opportunities. There's a research portal, and it gives you great access to industry research. So if you might be looking for some latest research to share with a client, and I've certainly used that, that's a very, very helpful thing to do. And finally, the membership benefits, really a bit of a wrap up in terms of discounted products, programs, services, and member offers from providers. So for example, diagnostic tools, those businesses, MBTI strengths model, MBTI, I should say, the strengths model, and other diagnostic tools look to partner with the ICF and provide discounted members offers if that's a core part of your coach training program, coach training offer. The gold standard. So the ICF really does believe that, and I believe so, that it is what sets the ICF coaches apart in an unregulated market. So, let's be very clear that this is an unregulated market, and the barrier to entry of being a coach is, well, quite frankly, it's so low that there isn't a barrier to entry. And that's where you guys doing your coach training, it's simply outstanding that that's what you're doing with an accredited training provider like the Life Coaching Academy. So the competencies, they're changing in August, and I'm sure that as you go through your coach training with Linda and your facilitators, you're understanding how those competencies are changing. Ethics is so important. So again, I use this very much if I'm in front of a client and talk about coaching ethics, and I make sure on a personal basis that any coach training program I have with an executive in terms of the space that I coach, that there is a document that is around ethics that we both sign. Credentialing, as I've already mentioned, ongoing development. And a key point around the ICF is that credentialed coaches don't have to be members. So why do I say that? Because in terms of the gold standard, to my knowledge, all of the other organizations that credential, you have to be a member to be credentialed. The ICF stands apart to say, we will credential you even if you're not a member. And that's their way, as I understand it, of rising above the pack to be the gold standard, to say, yes, we're a membership organization, but actually at a macro level, we're a credentialing organization for coaches, regardless of whether you are a member or not. So as I'm sure you're aware, there are a number of different pathways, the ACC, the PCC, and the MCC. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about those as we go through the presentation. But one thing to be sure of, and I'm actually doing a diagnostic of this at the moment in the space of stakeholder engagement, that more and more organizations are looking for these credentials, as well as whether the coach is certified from an accredited training provider. So I've Linda has this presentation, and there's some links for you to have a look at both ICF Australasia, the Coach Federation, which is the global body, and also a link to the Australasia page on LinkedIn. So hopefully that will, when you get this presentation, give you some opportunity to have a look. Now, one of the other presentations that I did, there were some Q&As that were asked, and these are potentially applicable to yourselves. So people were asking, what's the application process? Again, in this presentation, there are links to the application process. Can we apply for an ACC if we haven't logged the 500 hours yet? Or is it better to wait for the 500 hours and apply for the PCC? Well, you can go straight to a PCC. So, there are different pathways. You can't go straight to an MCC, but you can go to a PCC. And somebody was asking about what's the coaching log process? Do we need to log the hours? You do need to log the hours, and they may well be audited. So the spreadsheet's not shared with the ICF and doesn't need to be lodged. However, you do need to keep one, and it may well be audited. So in the presentation here, I haven't gone into them in detail, but I've put some links to the old competencies and the new competencies, which I'm sure you're well aware of, but hopefully that supports you with where the shift is going into August. So ACC is 100+ hours of coach training and the coach knowledge assessment. The path is 60 hours of coach training on an ACTP or ACSTH pass, 10 hours of mentoring, 100 hours of coaching experience, and there's also the portfolio path as well. To give more detail on the PCC, in essence, there's 500 hours performance evaluation, again, hours of mentoring, and the coach knowledge assessment. And as all of these are, there is also the core competencies as well as the coaching ethics. And the MCC, 200 hours of coach training, 2,500 hours of coaching experience, must hold a PCC credential, and also working with a mentor. And I know from many of the MCC coaches are mentors themselves. So those are the three different pathways, which are the credential pathways for an ICF credential coach. So what I'll do now is I'll stop sharing and say thank you very much for listening. It is absolutely a privilege from my perspective to be on the leadership team and to represent the International Coaching Federation. I find it a huge benefit to me personally and to my coaching practice. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Linda. I'll certainly be available to try and respond to those questions on a rolling basis as you watch this presentation and ask questions. And all that remains for me to say is congratulations on doing the coach training that you're doing. It really is an amazing career. I stepped away from executive leadership 5 years ago, and for the last 5 years have been growing a coaching practice. And there's no doubt that the ICF has supported me in that growth, both personally and professionally. So I wish you well and all the best. Take care.